Are you wanting something in life, but you're finding yourself following behaviors that don't serve you to get to it? And it's really frustrating you. Well, today I'm going to talk a little bit about why that may be. And I'm going to share an extra special point with you at the end as well. So, this is from, there's a quote, which is the name of this episode. And this was something that's quoted by one of my mentors in the neuroencoding community, a great community I'm part of, one of the speaking coaches, a great kind of philosophizer, if that's even a word, and a really, really good presenter. And he said, we default to our training, not our desires, meaning that most of what we do is habit, habit, habit. And it's what we've been training ourselves in some cases, but a lot from the environment to do. And it may not necessarily be in our best interest. Now, for many times for me, like I've wanted a lot of money. I think most of us do. Yeah, why don't we have it? Because somewhere along the way, we've trained ourselves to believe money is negative in the back of our mind, or we don't deserve it, or something like that. And we're not even consciously aware. And that's why our habits don't serve us. Maybe we want that thriving relationship, but we keep self-sabotaging us. And that's because we trained ourselves along the way. And the thing is, most of our behavior is driven by the subconscious mind and habit. And therefore, if you do not train it, if we do not train ourselves in the right way, we will continue to operate in the wrong way. And this was a really, really great quote. And I just had to share it for this podcast episode. So I'm going to go through some steps on how you can start to train yourself more for what you want. And when I've started to apply this, I realized start looking at breaking down some of my habits, being aware of what I wanted and looking at some of the behaviors. And it's an ongoing process. I'm always going to be doing this. That's when I've made real progress in my life. Things like being able to socialize with people, public speak, when I've been able to I had the conditioning, I had the training that I wasn't good enough. I didn't have a voice. Like, what will people think of me when I looked at them? Like when I talk to them, right? And when I started to retrain myself on those beliefs and actions, that's when I started getting better results in those areas. So how is it helping you by defaulting to not a positive way? Well, it didn't do me any favors. So the first thing that you want to ask is, what do I want? What is it that I actually want? Okay. And that's good because we often focus on what we don't want. When we focus on what we don't get great results, if you hadn't guessed it already. The second thing is read it daily and get emotionally charged. Get engaged with it, like feel the feelings. What's it going to give you? How amazing it's going to make you feel. Then the next question, ask yourself, what are some good regular activities you do towards something? That may be minimal, that list, towards what you want. And I'd pick one thing to start off with, because you probably want many things, but just pick one thing going back to the first question. So ask yourself, what are some good activities that you do currently towards it and maybe minimal? What are some bad activities perhaps you do towards it that don't help you? If it's like earning money, for example, maybe you tend to overspend, you buy stuff you don't need, right? You're just being honest with yourself and audit. Dishonesty is not going to help you here. Progress starts with truth. The fifth one, then you are going to actually start pick a couple of good habits and a couple of bad habits. A couple of good habits you want to add into your life and a couple of bad habits you want to remove. And start making minor tweaks. Don't do too many because your brain will get bombarded and get exhausted. So pick small and simple. Okay, so those are the steps that I wanted to give you. So just going through them again. The first one, ask yourself what you want. The second one, get emotionally charged, feel it in your system. What are your regular good activities? What are your bad ones? List as many as possible. And then how can you change a couple of them? And if I was going to give you only a couple on each, good ones you want to add in and bad ones you want to get rid of. And if I was going to add you an extra thing here before the special point, I'd like to say this. I'd say just keep listening to something encouraging, motivating, that's uplifting, because that's going to retrain you. Surround yourself with good people as well. That's another way. So my final bonus point for you is a very simple one. Get yourself a coach, because what a coach is going to do is going to be able to see your blind spots, be able to help you identify your blind spots and see another perspective. So that's going to be my bonus point for you today on that one. So that's what I got for you today. Short and simple, but I appreciate you for being here. You're improving other people's lives for being the best you. And remember, you are in control of your own self-esteem. and confidence.